That was a wonderful good morning, considering we don't have many classes with us today. Nice job. So, today was supposed to be a Steve the Stinger week, but because we don't have third and fourth grade with us, we're going to wait till next week. So, keep collecting all of those coins and keep having super-de-duper behavior, and then next week when we fill it up, I bet you that we can earn something. You think so? Yes. Did anybody walk to school today? I did, but all the kids that I walked to school with are in third and fourth grade, so they're not here right now. Can somebody tell me why it's important to walk to school? Ryan, go ahead. It gives you exercise. Anybody else? Go ahead, Jay. You forgot it was walk to school? I also forgot to pick you up this morning, so sorry. Why is it? Can you give me a reason why it's important to walk to school? My friend Naomi, who I walked with today in third grade, gave me all the reasons why, from the fairgrounds to school, as to why we should walk to school. Everything about cars giving exhaust and it being not good for the environment and all the things. She talked from the fairgrounds all the way to school. It was great, nice lesson. So we would love to have more people walk with us every day. We had 11 people last week walk with me, and then today 3. So if you live and have to go past the fairgrounds on your way to school, stop in, come walk with us. Even if you don't, I have somebody that lives downtown, and he still came and walked with us. So it's lots of fun. Great exercise, wake you up in the morning. So we have a very special surprise this morning. Who remembers last year having mystery readers come to your class and read? Yeah? Lots of fun, right? Because you're like, who's going to come and read to us today? So today, we are going to kick off Mystery Reader Month with our very first mystery reader. I'm going to let her come to the stage. We're all going to figure out who it is. Can we give a nice round of applause for today's mystery reader?
Hi, everybody. I did not know I was going to be your first mystery reader, but thank you for inviting me. It's been a long time since I've read to such a wonderful audience of younger children. I work in the school with the high schoolers, and I usually don't read the same kind of books to the high school students that I'm going to read to you today. But I brought a big book because I understood that we were going to meet here in the theater. So I brought the biggest book I could find so you could see the pictures. Today I'd like to share with you 2 stories, and we're going to start with this one. This one's called The Napping House by Audrey and Don Wood. Can you see it? Mrs. Dower, I may need your help. Mrs. Dower is so handy. Okay. There is a house, a napping house, where everyone is sleeping. And in that house, there is a bed, a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on the bed, there is a granny, a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that granny, there is a child, a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that child, there is a dog, a dozing dog on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that dog, there is a cat, a snoozing cat on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that cat, there is a mouse, a slumbering mouse, on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that mouse, there is a flea. Can it be a wakeful flea? On a slumbering mouse, on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house where everyone is sleeping? A wakeful flea who bites the mouse. See the mouse? Who scares the cat, who claws the dog, who thumps the child, who bumps the granny, who breaks the bed, in the napping house where no one is now sleeping, where everyone's awake. So I have another story that I want to tell you. I did bring a book. I'm just going to tell you a story. And you're going to have to use your imaginations to put pictures in your brain. So this is a story called The Fisherman and His Wife. And it's a fairy tale. So like most fairy tales, they all begin with once upon a time. So once upon a time, there was a fisherman and his wife, and they lived in a little beautiful cottage in the middle of the woods. The cottage had a pretty red door and a porch with 2 rocking chairs and a beautiful garden all around. And the fisherman and his wife could sit in the rocking chairs and look out at their beautiful garden. Every day, the fisherman would go down the little trail, down past his garden, around the bend, to the river, and he would bring his fishing pole down to the river to fish for food, and he'd bring the fish home every day for his wife to cook for supper. So this one day, the fisherman was down by the river fishing, and he throws in his line, and he's fishing away, and all of a sudden he feels a tug, and it's pulling, and he reels it in and with all his might, and he gets a big fish, about this big. It's the most beautiful fish he's ever seen. It has gold and rainbow-colored scales, and it's just amazing. He's never caught anything quite like it. And he's like, wow, my wife is really going to like this. And then all of a sudden, the fish starts to talk to him and says, please don't eat me, I'm a magic fish. The fisherman's like, no, there's no such thing as a magic fish. Am I hearing things? And the fish says, no, I'm a magic fish. I can grant you a wish. And the fisherman says, well, I have a wonderful wife and a nice house. I don't have any wishes. I think I'll let you go because you're so beautiful, and I don't want to eat you, so I'm going to let you go. The fisherman packs up his fishing pole, and he walks back down the trail towards his house, and he's coming around the bend. He sees his wife sitting in the rocking chair looking at the beautiful garden. And he's, honey, guess what? I caught a magic fish today. And she's like, what? Where's our supper? And he goes, no, I threw it back. It was magic, and I didn't want to eat it because it was beautiful. And she's like, did you wish for something? And he said, no, I threw it back. And she goes, oh, you should have wished for something. You should have wished for a bigger house. I like our cozy little house, but it would be fun to have a bigger house and a bigger garden. And he's like, no, let's leave it be. And she goes, no, you have to go back tomorrow, and you have to catch this fish and wish for a bigger house. So the next day, the fisherman goes back. He walks down the trail, around the bend, goes to the river, and he's fishing away, fishing, and nothing happens. So he finally says, magic fish, please come grant me my wish. And all of a sudden, the sky gets dark, the clouds start to roll in, the water starts to bubble, and his fishing pole starts to go crazy and zip down the river. And he reels it in, and on the other end, what do you think he finds? The magic fish. He says, magic fish, my wife would like to have you grant a wish. And so the fish says, "What does she want?" And the fisherman says, "Well, my wife would like a bigger house and a bigger garden. Go home, your wish is granted." The fisherman packs up his gear, goes back down the trail, and as he's coming around the bend, he sees a bigger house and a bigger garden. And his wife is sitting, waving out front. "Honey, guess what? We have a big house. I love it. It's beautiful. Come inside. I have a pretty table, and I'm cooking sausage for dinner. Come inside." Well, the fisherman and his wife were very happy, and they liked their new house. But after 3 days, the wife said, "Honey, wouldn't it be nice if you could go back and find that magic fish and ask for servants? This house is too big. I need help cleaning it. I need help. I need a cook, and I need somebody to clean the house. And it would be nice to have a gardener for the garden, too. Why don't you go back and find that magic fish?" So the fisherman takes his pole, goes down the trail around the bend, and as he gets to the river, he starts to fish away, and nothing happens. And then eventually he gives up and he says, magic fish, my wife would like you to grant us a wish." So all of a sudden, the sky gets dark, the clouds roll in, the water starts to bubble, and on the other end of his fishing pole, it's the magic fish. And the magic fish says, "What does she want?" And he says, "My wife would like some servants and a cook and a gardener. The house you gave us is really nice, but it's a little big for her to take care of, and I'm fishing all the time, so it would be nice if she had some help. Go back, I've granted your wish." So he goes back to the house, and she's so happy. She has some people helping her now. The gardener's out front working. The gardens are so beautiful. And she was happy for 3 days. And then all of a sudden, she said, "You know what? I should have wished for a castle. I would love to have a castle. I'd love to have beautiful dress and more servants and plenty of food so you never have to fish. Can you go back and find that magic fish and ask for a castle?" And the fisherman really doesn't want to do it, but he doesn't like to have his wife unhappy, so he goes back down the trail, around the bend to the river, and he starts to fish. And this time, he doesn't want to spend the whole day, so he says, magic fish, please come, grant me a wish." And the sky gets dark, the clouds roll in, the water starts to bubble, and he reels in the magic fish, and the magic fish says, "What does your wife want?" And he says, "Well, she really would like a castle. She'd like to have more help, a big castle, beautiful dresses. Go back. I've granted your wish." So he goes back, and he has this big castle, and lots of people, lots of activity. His wife thinks she's the queen of the land, and she's telling the servants what to do, and she's happy for 3 days. So then she says, "You know, honey, I should have wished for the sky, the moon, the stars, the universe. I want it all. I want it all." And so he goes back down to the river, down the trail, around the bend, and starts to fish, and fishes away. And all of a sudden, he says, magic fish, please come grant my wife a wish." So the fish comes up, says, "What does she want now?" And he says, "Well, my wife wants the land. She wants to be in charge of the stars, the universe. She wants it all." And the fish says, "No, go home. She wants too much." So the fisherman packs up his gear, goes down the trail, around the bend, and as he's coming around the corner, he sees a little red door, a nice little porch, 2 rocking chairs sitting on the porch, and a beautiful little garden. The pretty little cottage in the woods is back, and there's his wife sitting in the rocking chair, looking out at the pretty garden. And she said, "You know, I really like our pretty little house. I'm happy." The end.
Thank you so much. That was an amazing story. You guys listened so nicely. Does somebody know what the lesson of that story is? Like what that teaches us? Ariana, first hand up. Ooh, that is really good. Don't ask for things that you don't need, right? Be happy and content with what you have. Great job, Ariana. Another round of applause for our wonderful mystery reader. That was awesome. Okay, friends. So we have testing going on still upstairs. So if we can please be quiet as we leave. Kindergarten, have a fabulous day. First grade, have a fabulous day.